With preparation and really attacking the problem head on, you can be prepared to address these big emotions that your children have, and the little ones too, confidently. Hello and welcome to Live Your Language, tips and inspiration for parents who are raising their children in a non-native language. I'm Stephanie, a PhD student in second language acquisition and a mother to 2 children I'm raising to be trilingual in my non-native languages of French and Spanish. And today we're going to be talking about an issue that I have wanted to discuss on this channel for so long. It is all about managing and naming big emotions for kids. So why do emotions matter? And in particular, why does precise vocabulary matter when we're talking about emotions and raising kids? Well, noticing and naming emotions gives us an opportunity to stand back and react in the way that we would want to react. In other words, it helps with emotional regulation. A precise vocabulary is also important for helping kids develop emotional intelligence and emotional literacy, which are some big buzzwords right now. Parents are emotion coaches, among many other things. And by having a precise vocabulary surrounding emotions, we are helping fulfill that role. Now, the big challenge for non-native speakers is our lack of a breadth of vocabulary. So that means that a lot of us, I'm speaking about myself here, really only have 1 or maybe 2 words for a situation or an object. Let me explain. So for example, a chair, like what I'm sitting in. You might know 1 or 2 words, like a chair or a seat, but there are so many other words that we could use to describe more specific seats and more specific chairs. For example, a swivel chair, a 3-legged stool, or more commonly referred to as a stool. But there's also a step stool. There's also a car seat. There's also a recliner. There's also a wheelchair. There are so many words that could fall under this large umbrella term of chair. And I think that one of the strategies that we use as non-native speakers, circumlocution, for example, helps us get around these more specific terms that we don't know. But, as we discussed, it's really important to know specific words when it comes to emotions and feelings. Under the umbrella of sad, you might have disappointed, lonely, depressed, ashamed, guilty, vulnerable. For happy, you might have optimistic, proud, confident. The list goes on and on. By being able to name those emotions, we can really dive into the more complex emotions, which will, in the long run, help our children out. And speaking about this, I really want to share a resource that has been really helpful for me in this area. Something called an emotion wheel. So I got this on Amazon. I'll show you some close-ups, but basically it is a wheel that in the center it has the most basic emotions. So we have sad, happy, fear, anger, but as it moves out, it goes into more and more complex emotions based on that feeling. So I highly recommend this. I have been having a lot of trouble finding one in French, so I just had to translate it on my own. But if you are someone who's raising your child in English and you would like something like this, you can check out the notes. I will leave a link for this below. Another thing that I want to mention is that I am offering a little language seed. This is a product inspired by my journey as a parent raising a child in a non-native language. So for years now, I have kept a list of all the expressions, idioms, and all those little things that I've had so much trouble finding a way to translate out of my native language. By sharing these terms one by one in a thematically centered little language seed, I am hoping that if you are raising your child in English as a non-native speaker, these can help you by just giving you the vocabulary that you need to raise your child more confidently in your non-native language. This month's will be all about emotions. So what you will get if you pay the $5 a month, you will get a 20 to 30 minute lesson, including a dialogue and vocabulary and videos so you can see actually what we're talking about. And you will also get a downloadable PDF with a list of vocabulary, sample sentences, and other resources. By the way, if you would like a 3-minute sample on what a little language seed is, just send me an email. My email is Stephanie, Stefanie, @ liveyourlanguagenow.com. I will send you a link to get signed up for my mailing list, and from there you will have access to a 3-minute preview of a previous little language seed. I highly recommend that you check it out. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so my very first tip is to get the vocabulary that you need to identify the emotions. This week, I think it would be a really great idea if you just paid a lot of attention to the emotions that come up in your household, including your own. And don't be shy, definitely go deep into the more complex emotions, because if you don't have the vocabulary, then you can't explain that to your child, which may mean that they won't have that vocabulary either. Next, take these vocabulary words and ask a native speaker how to say them. Don't be shy, get into examples of what would happen in a situation that would cause this emotion. And also don't forget to talk about how you would manage that emotion if you're in that situation, including strategies for calming down, like taking a deep breath, taking a walk outside, talking to family, or exercising, or taking a nap. I have a great poster that I will link in the description box below that I got from Amazon that has been so helpful in my household. It basically shows kind of like a thermometer of emotions. In the middle, it has a list of what the child might be doing and the expressions of that emotion. And then on the other side, it's got not just words, but images representing what that child can do to calm down, or the person really can do in that situation. It's gotten to the point now where my son, if he gets mad, he will walk me over to the chart and point to the angry face, and then point to what he wants to do. Like his favorite is to go outside when he's upset. And it's just been really helpful for us to have that as a tool to manage our emotions. It really helps us put that little gap in between the emotion and the reaction, which is exactly what you want to do. Next piece of advice is to actually model that emotion. So if you are experiencing frustration, like, you know, if your child won't put their shoes on, you could use that word. I'm feeling really frustrated because I've asked you several times and you still haven't put your shoes on. That will help them see that emotion in action and hopefully be able to label it in themselves and in others. Last thing that I want to mention is to identify those resources in your target language that talk all about emotions. If English is your target language, 2 things I recommend are the Daniel Tiger TV show, which is really great for emotions and emotional regulation. The next resource that I will mention is a book called The Color Monster, and this has also been translated into several languages as well. I have one in French, but I also know this book exists in English as well. So definitely check it out, and I will put a link below as well to that resource. This topic is so very important, and it's something, like I said, that has bothered me from the very beginning of how to reconcile the lack of vocabulary I have as a non-native speaker with this hefty task, this important role we have as emotion coaches for our children. But with preparation and really attacking the problem head on, you can be prepared to address these big emotions that your children have, and the little ones too, confidently. Again, if you are interested in a resource that you can use as a non-native speaker of English in dealing with emotions, definitely check out Little Language Seeds. I'll put the link below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!